Hey guys, how are you? Attire, see this again. Trainer Evolution series. This is the mother load right here. This is part 3. This is basically the end of the first 3 series of getting a job as a personal trainer. Now, if you missed out on the first and second part, that's okay. You can always watch it. It is on YouTube as well as on my Facebook and on iSport.com. But this for sure will definitely help you better decide in terms of which facility, which commercial facility is good for you. So let's get started. Alright. Okay, so the first 4 parts were covered in parts 1 and 2. Today we're going to cover the questions that you should be asking within an interview. Now mind you, there's going to be a lot of questions that are listed here. Please pick, somewhere in the neighborhood of 3 to 5, because you don't want to overwhelm the interviewer, as well as you don't want to sound too aggressive and or sound condescending by asking all these questions. Because I will tell you this, the majority of questions that are listed here, most of the interviewing managers as well as most of the interviewing individuals may or may not know the answers to the questions, one. And second of all, the vernacular that I use is very specific to the New York metro area. So let's begin. Prior to asking anything in an interview, the first question that you should be asking is, what should you wear when all of a sudden you get this phone call that you are got an interview appointment? Always ask what's appropriate, because you never know what you'll be doing in an interview. You could be sitting down and chatting and going over your resume and possibly going over company rah-rah, or there may be a practical aspect of that, so of the interview process. So you definitely want to be prepared. So ask the question if you happen to answer the phone and or send an email or call the facility and ask politely. If they don't know, or if no one's able to answer your question, always leave a message, and always wear business casual. Wearing a suit is very formal and does make an impression, so feel free to do that. But generally speaking, business casual for a gym environment is absolutely appropriate. No jeans or flip-flops. That is way too casual for any type of interview, unless you happen to be interviewing for the local pizza parlor. Prior to arriving, what you should bring, just in case that there is a practical aspect of it, as well as assuming that you have worked at the gym, you may get a free workout out of that day, so you might as well bring your gear anyway. Note, your gear also should be clean, and please do not wear any other facility t-shirts. It kind of drives the interviewing facility up the wall. And your bag, it should be presentable. It also should be clean. Bring a notepad and a working pen, because you definitely want to take notes and jot down some finer points of the interview process. Bring copies of your resume, copies of your certification, copies of your headshots, as well as copies of your CPR with AED, first aid if you have it, and possibly insurance as well, because you might be hired as a 1099 or an independent contractor. Get there early. If you're human, you'll end up getting a little nervous. Me myself, I always get nervous before interviews, no matter how prepared I am, and that extra 15 minutes kind of helps me settle down. If you're going to go to the bathroom, again, go there. Shut your phone off. Very important. There's nothing like having an interview, you're getting into a conversation, all of a sudden your phone's blowing up. And sit and read a book. Not fitness related, because there's nothing like hiring or interviewing an individual with a well-rounded background. Okay, once you get into the room, get comfortable and listen. Make sure that your phone's off. Always ask permission to take notes. Some companies are a little quirky, like, oh no, he's going to steal, some sort of information. Yeah, right. You're not. You're going to actually take notes. Okay, actively listen. So what that means is, you want to paraphrase. Oh, is this what you said? Is this what you mean by X? Always actively listen. Always answer all your questions in a professional manner. And if you happen to have a potty mouth like yours truly, try not to use any language that may seem other people might take offense to. You know what I mean. The only thing that should be in your hand, okay, hopefully speaking that you're okay to take notes, is a pad of paper and your pen. Definitely take key notes, write down overall responsibilities, and write down in terms of what the company is all about. And compensation, if they happen to go over that. If they don't, definitely ask. And I'll go over that as well. Here it begins. Okay? You don't have to ask all these questions. In fact, if you do, it may seem intrusive and they may take offense to it. Just FYI. You definitely want to know how many members are utilizing the facility. You want a percentage of those members training. That gives you what is known as a penetration, okay, or a penetration rate. This gives you total penetration, and it tells you if the facility is pushing personal training and how interested the demographics that they're serving is interested in that type of service. How many members use the facility daily? Because we all know that come January, you have the whole town that wants to join the gym, and then come March, more than 3/4 of those people are long gone. And how many of those people that are coming in daily are utilizing the gym? Okay, that is your active penetration or your active clients. That's very, very important to know, because you want to know how many people are coming into that gym and how many of those members that are utilizing the gym on a daily basis are utilizing personal training. Very important. You definitely want to know how many new members sign up. Okay? How many of those new members purchase personal training, POS, which is point of sale. Okay? For those members that do not purchase, how many of them actually go through an assessment? Okay? Very important, because you want to know, is the sales team, is there a system in place for the sales team to try to get as much ancillary dollars out of this individual that is sitting away from them? Okay? How many assessments are done within a month is very important, because there is a correlation between, an individual joining the gym, getting an assessment, taking on a personal trainer, and actually attaining their goals. In fact, those people that join in January wouldn't fall off in March if they were training. Okay? How many of those assessments purchase personal training? That number is known as a conversion rate. Okay? Very important. You want to know if these trainers are able to convert, because this is going to be part of your team. This is going to be your family. Okay? That number, that conversion rate, is also a reflection upon you, especially once you get some experience under your belt. So you want to be the A-Rod, for lack of a better term, of that team and be able to be a heavy hitter. Okay. What is the process of someone requesting for a personal trainer? Okay. Is there a process? Is there a form they fill out? Is there a PAR-Q that they fill out? Or is there a post-it that's kind of sticked onto some sort of computer monitor somewhere within the facility? What is considered full-time status? Very important. The average job is 40 hours per week. 40 hours of training per week is a lot. Is a lot. Remember that I'm saying that, okay? 40 hours of training per week is a lot, because if this is if this facility has high standards, they want their trainers to program. Programming takes time. Execution of a program takes time. Being on at 100%, looking at your client, looking at movement issues, each and every hour of the day is a lot. And 40 hours, when you break it down, is a lot of hours to do. Okay? On average, how long does it take for a new trainer to reach full-time status? Okay, this is known as ramp up. How long does it take a trainer to ramp up from zero all the way to full-time status? How many trainers are on staff? How many of those trainers are considered full-time? Because you want to know this, because if you have another gig off of the side and you're trying to make a transition from one career to the next, some facilities will require you to be full-time. That means you have to quit your other job. It's quite possible that you might have to take a financial hit. Well, you want to minimize that by just outrightly asking, well, how many of these people are full-time? Oh, 3/4 of them are full-time, or 3/4 of them are part-time, and only 1/4 of them are full-time. So you do hire part-time trainers. Okay? Are the trainers allowed to bring outside clients into the facility? Sorry, my mistake. I didn't put in facility. Are they allowed to bring clients in? Are they? Because if they are, there is a rent to pay. Find out what that is. So that way you can also supplement your income with some sort of cash business. Again, some compensation and benefit questions that really come to the end. Now, if you happen to go through a first interview, you may or may not talk about compensation. If you go through a second interview, you more than likely will be talking about compensation. Okay, so these are some of the things that you definitely want to ask. All right, does the organization have a tiered system? All right, a tiered system basically means that there are levels in terms of trainer levels. What is the compensation between each level? How do you move from one level to another? Okay, is also a very good question to ask. Are there productivity bonuses? If you do hit 40 sessions per week, is there a productivity bonus to basically give that carrot and to keep you productive and to keep you driving your sessions? Are there sales bonuses involved? Are there first-time sales bonuses, as well as is there a repeated business bonus that is involved? Okay, so you definitely want to know that. Okay, does this facility have non-training hours, aka floor hours? Okay, if they do, what's the compensation for the floor hour, as well as do all the hours work towards your benefits? That's a very, very important question, because in today's economy and people, penny pinching, they want to maximize, the company wants to maximize the working hours of their facilities. So they tie in, you have to hit a certain amount of hours so that you can have your benefits. And non-training hours may or may not qualify for your benefits, and you need to know that so you can budget out your time in terms of training as well as non-training hours. As this goes for, again, if you read the notice, health, dental, and possibly the education that you may receive at the facility and or that gets subsidized. Okay, always thank the interviewer for their time. Send the interviewer a thank you letter and or email. Handwritten note is always a nice thing to get. Follow up within 48 hours. Assume that you're not the only candidate for this position. And give them time to kind of go through each and every candidate. Sometimes they will tell you they will call you in a couple of weeks, and if that's the case, then you wait a couple of weeks. And always, 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 never put all your eggs in one basket and continue applying to other facilities. Alright guys, I hope that's helped, and shoot me off with an email if you have any further questions, because I'm happy to answer them. Look for the website that's under construction, thetrainerslounge.com, and the next series of presentations of Trainer Evolution is making the decision. So which facility do you want to work at now after you've received 4 or 5 offers? Take care guys. Thanks for your time.